All right, had a chance not too long ago to be at the BYU Media Golf Tournament. We're almost a month removed from it, but had a chance to catch up with a number of BYU players. We played Kalani Sitake's comments, our exclusive one-on-one with him last week on the podcast. I wanted to let you guys hear a conversation I had with Kody Epps. Now, Kody has been a guy who has been in the headlines for BYU for 3-ish years now, has flashed all kinds of potential, but has also been a guy who has been injury prone. The biggest thing for Kody Epps coming into this upcoming season is he wants to go out and show his absolute best. It doesn't hurt that he's already a rising force when it comes to NIL. He's started his own golf company, Sonny Golf. If you haven't seen that, he had his own golf tournament earlier on this offseason. He is a force unto himself. And Kody, anybody who has an opportunity to catch up with this young man knows he's an effervescent personality. I always enjoy talking with Kody. It's never a dull moment with him because he's got a personality. That's absolutely for sure. He gives very good and I think well thought out answers to questions. No question is out of bounds with him. It feels like in many respects, he's kind of like Connor Pay, who we had on the podcast yesterday. And if you missed that conversation, go back and check it out right now. I'll just pause the podcast right now. I'll give you an out. You can step away and then jump back into this one. But he is speaking of Kody, he is a guy that I think is really coming into his own at BYU. And that's a really cool thing, I think, if you're a Cougar fan. Can he be a bigger part of what BYU hopes will be a better year in the Big 12 this fall? Well, we asked him that question and more, and we'll get to that right now, right here on the Locked On Cougars podcast.
How are you feeling just overall about events like this? Do you like coming out and doing things? I know you had your own golf tournament too long ago.
For sure. We get free food, we get free golf, we get to be out here with our teammates, our coaches. I mean, I would never turn an opportunity like this down at all. So blessed to be out here, so thankful. So
you've come a long way in a relatively short time. How long have you been playing golf for?
This is my second year taking this serious, and my journey this week is to break 90. I've been shooting in 95, 94, 93. Okay. So I'm trying to break 90.
Well, hey, driving greens on par fours will help you do that.
Yes, for sure. It's my putting that's killing me, dude. Okay. It's the 3 putts.
Hey.
It's the 3 putts.
The short game, man.
Yes.
It's all about that.
Yes.
I also wanted to ask you, just in terms of getting ready for this upcoming season, what's your confidence level? Where are things looking right now?
I'm excited. I'm so ready to go. I'm excited. I feel stronger than ever. My body feels better than ever. I'm just excited to go. I'm so thankful to be a part of this team. All my teammates are coming along. Dudes are getting stronger. Dudes are getting faster. Dudes are dialed in. So I'm excited.
I think you guys learned some good lessons year one in the Big 12. What's the biggest one you'll take, obviously, from year one?
Just play our game. Just because we're in the Big 12 and dudes might be a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, that doesn't change us playing football. Even when we're independent, we're playing against great teams all over across the country. So not focusing on them, but focusing on us. We know what we can do. We know what we can accomplish. So dialing in with ourselves and focusing on our game, and everything will fall into place.
Wide receiving core might be the deepest group on this team just based on looking at how many returners you guys have. What's your confidence level as you guys as receivers, even with Keanu moving to tight end and being able to contribute at a higher level this year?
I'm excited for all the guys in the room. I want to see them excel. I want to see them ball. I want to see just everybody push to that next level, what they've already built on from last season. And I'm super stoked for it.
What's the relationship with all the quarterbacks? I know it's going to be a pretty good derby here, looks like, coming up.
Well, we have one behind you trying to make me laugh right now.
I'm sure he is, yeah.
But I love the guys that we have right now. I'm loving the fact that Gerry's getting into golf. It makes me super happy. I'm thankful for the guys that I have around me. Having each and every quarterback in our room brings a different element, brings a different type of leader, brings a different type of friend that you want to have in your room, to have around you. So I'm so thankful and blessed to be around those guys.
What's your confidence level this offense is going to be better this year?
I think when you think about it from the perspective of who our offensive coordinator is, a dude that literally eats, sleeps, thinks, and poops football, I think there is no way that our offense isn't any better. And I think that Coach A-Rod will do everything in his power to make sure that we push past our limits and what we did last year and have a phenomenal season this football season. I'm so excited for the plays he's about to dial up, for Coach Fesi and what he's going to dial up, and just what the whole offense as a whole is going to do. I think everybody is going to be really proud at the end of the season.
There's a lot of naysayers about this team. The expectation is you're going to be picked 14th or 15th potentially in the league. Yeah. Does that give you guys any extra motivation knowing that you're being pretty lightly thought of?
Nah. I think anytime you use external motivation as motivation, it's just like gas. You got to go refill sometimes. You got to go back to Twitter. You got to go back to the people that are giving you that motivation to get some more. When it's all internal, it's there. It's like your blood. It keeps pumping. It's like your heart. It just keeps pumping and more is coming. So keeping all the motivation as internal as possible, I think is the goal. And I'm not looking about or hearing about any other things than what we're talking about in the locker room or what we're talking about on the golf course with my teammates.
Well, how are those conversations on the golf course? Are they pretty good?
Hilarious. Okay. Hilarious. You could imagine the craziest stuff being said. I'll just be transparent and honest. Some curse words are said when you shank a couple shots, but we repent and we're thankful that we do have the opportunity to let some of it fly when we're on the golf course.
Well, how important are those relationships amongst your teammates, though?
So important. So important. I think I've been saying this all day. I think the biggest thing for a team to grow and for anybody to grow, you have to go through things together. And it's not what happens in the football field, on the football field or in the locker room. It's what's happening when we're off the field, when we're together, going out to eat, when we're golfing together, when we're swimming together, when we're, just chilling together. That's when the camaraderie starts. That's when the love and the bonding truly starts. It doesn't happen on the football field.
Well, I can tell you this much. Golf, as my father-in-law likes to call it, it's a 4-letter word.
Yes. Yes.
It's probably the best description I've ever heard for that sport. Well, yes. Kody, thanks for the time. We'll catch up with you as the season gets a little bit closer, all right?
Yes, thank you.
There you go, Kody Epps. And like I said, I always enjoy talking with Kody. You can tell he's very much into the golf world, but at the same time, he is very serious about his football. I'm not going to speak out of turn for him, but reading between the lines on that, you can tell that he, along with his teammates, were not pleased with how that last season ended. And I don't think anybody's pleased with it. Let's be frank. They went 0-5 in the final 5 games of the year. They're riding a 5-game losing streak coming in to their season opener in just over 40 days against Southern Illinois. But I think Kody pointed out, I think the most important part of this conversation is that they learn some hard but necessary lessons coming out of year 1 in the Big 12 that will only make them better this year. I really like this wide receiving core, speaking just as a whole, including Kody. You look at the likes of Darius Lassiter, Chase Roberts, the aforementioned Kody Epps, Keelan Marion. You can go down the list, look at Parker Kingston. Keanu Hill moved to tight end, but he's still very much a part of the passing game for BYU. There is a lot of talent and a lot of depth. It might be the deepest position group, I think, Big 12 caliber depth-wise on the BYU roster. And the good news is if they can find a quarterback, whether that is Jake Retzlaff, whether that is Gerry Bohanon, or somebody else, a dark horse, if you will, that emerges, if they can consistently deliver the ball to these guys, get the ball into the hands of BYU's playmakers, there is going to be a much better opportunity for BYU this fall to emerge with a 500, a 6-6, 7-5 record. I threw it out to our Locked On Cougars insider group last night in a text and said, straw poll. What do you guys make of BYU's record? What's your prediction today? So that was as of July 17th, 2024. And I said, you reserve the right to change that. We'll talk about it more as the season gets closer. And I will say the 90% of the responses sat in the 6-6 or 7-5 range. There were a few outliers. A couple predicted 5-7. That was the lowest prediction from a couple of our Locked On Cougars insider group, but a couple of them did mention that they're looking at 5-7 with the hopes that it's a 7-5. I understand that, looking at it realistically and what you hope to see happen. But then a couple said 8-4, and I even saw one that was 9-3. So it ranges quite a bit. So the low end was 5-7, the high end 9-3. But like I said, I think we had 30. Let's see, I'll pull it right now. We had 32 responses as of recording of this podcast. And of those 32, I said like 80 to 90% of them either 6-6 or 7-5. And that I think is what a lot of Cougar fans out there expect from this BYU team. If I'm wrong, feel free to drop us a note. Let us know if we're up in the night expecting that, or if we're under appreciating what BYU is capable of this year. But getting back to the topic du jour is that I think that Kody Epps understands what they're up against. That's the biggest thing for this BYU football program is they learned a lot from year 1 in the Big 12, what it's going to take to win consistently, what it's going to take to go out there and compete on a literal play-by-play basis at the Power 4 level. And Kody, you can tell, is highly, highly motivated. And I think his teammates follow his lead in many respects at wanting to be better and expecting to be better this fall. So big thank you once again to Kody for taking the time, and I always appreciate talking with him. Like I said, Kody, he is he is a force, personality-wise, but he's also very well thought out in how he approaches things. And if you guys want to get into the golf world, check out his new company, Sonny Golf, Sonny, Sonny Golf. I'm not being paid to endorse that, but I can tell you, Kody, he's doing some really, really cool things, both in the real world, but more importantly, looking forward to a better year on the gridiron this fall.